Welcome to the 7 Habits for Setting and Achieving Godly Goals program. This is Dr. C, and before we get started, may I just say this. I am so excited to start this journey with you. You know, Ralph Waldo Emerson once said this. He said, sow a thought and reap an action. Sow an action and reap a habit. Sow a habit and reap a character. Sow a character and reap a destiny. You know, I think this is so important because although this is just a goal-setting program, now maybe not just any goal-setting program because we do want to honor God with our goals, but it is a goal-setting program nonetheless. And really, I think the most important thing, I think intuitively we all know that the habits that we apply to our life yesterday determine who we are today, and the habits of today will determine who we are tomorrow. And I think, speaking for myself and hopefully for you all listening, I think we truly desire to be all that God created us to be, to encourage one another, to encourage our families, to impact those around us in a way that honors God. And that's really what Habitology is all about. So with that, thank you for indulging me, and let's get started. Now again, the purpose of this video is to provide an overview of the 7 Habits program. But before we get started with that, let me take care of a couple of housekeeping items. Number one is right here we're on the command center. That's where the welcome page is to the program. But in order to really make the most out of this program, it's probably beneficial to have the manual printed out. So in order to get that, you're going to go to the filing cabinet, and once you click that, okay, you'll see inside the 7 Habits program, that folder, you're going to see these resources. Now, let's focus down here on these last two. You're going to see there's 2 different versions of the manual. One is a digital version, one is a print version. And the print version is going to be the one that you're going to want to print out, okay, and it looks like this, okay, and you can see the pages are single pages. Now, when you print it out either, you know, at your office or home, or if you send it over to Kinko's, make sure you select double-sided printing because that will enable you to spiral bound it or, you know, 3-hole punch it in a way that flips, you know, page to page. Okay. Now, the other version is called the digital version, and I like to call it the magazine version because it shows you kind of like you're looking at a magazine. It shows you in a spread format. And that's the one that if I'm reading online, or actually for this training video, this is the version that we're going to use. Okay, so 2 versions, the print and the digital. And with that, let's get started. So today, again, the purpose of this particular video is to go over the program in general, not to cover each element, but I just want to show you the contents of the program, and then the subsequent videos will cover each video will be 1 chapter at a time, and therefore it'll make it easy for you to review that individual program chapter. All right, so we start off with the Habitology introduction. This gives you a little backstory about Habitology and kind of what God laid on my heart and, you know, some of those types of things. Then we're going to move into the fundamentals of goal setting, where we have a couple of the principles and things and procedures that you know, I think about when I'm goal setting. Next is the anatomy of a habit, and I think you'll find that to be a really good chapter for really understanding some of the key principles of habit development. Chapter number 4 kind of is where the whole 7 Habits program is located as far as just the 7 habits. So in chapter number 4, you're going to find all 7 habits. Okay? Then chapter number 5 is the resources. So the resources are the ones that we talk about here in chapter number 4. I take each of those and I give you a blank copy of that particular resource so you can print it out and use it if you'd like. Chapter number 6 and chapter number 7 are just some stories about my life that I think you'll find encouraging. And then the last 2 chapters aren't really chapters at all. They're just some thoughts and inspirations for you to journal. And then the last one, last but certainly not least, is you know, a place where you can put down the people on your prayer list. Okay, so with that said, if you've already printed out your manual and got it bound or 3-hole punched, then you'll be ready to go. And you'll just want to go ahead and click the next training video, which is the Habitology Introduction. Thank you once again. I'm so excited to be locking arm in arm with you and to really working with each other to ensure that we're all God created us to be.